Well, you better get ready. Bow to the masters. Break it down!
Hey, what's up everybody? It's Kyle and Remy from the NVL blog. We're here. We hope to make an every week sort of segment here. We're going to preview our games of the week. We're going to take a look at what's going on around the league. Take a look at some other stuff going on with the NVL. But first, it's time to get ready for football, Rem. We're finally ready to go. We had the countdown clock.
That's right. The week we've been waiting for. Seems like yesterday, Naugatuck and Ansonia were playing right back here. And a couple of NVL teams made it to the playoffs.
So we're going to take a look. You all saw our divisional predictions this year. First of all, we do want to welcome you. We are at Jarvis Stadium here in Ansonia. We're going to try to make it our game of the week. We'll come down here and make our video. So if we're coming to a place near you, by all means, come down and see us. But we'll take a look just really quickly with our NVL divisional picks. We both had Ansonia on top of the brass division. We also both had Derby and Seymour second and third place in the brass. And then we started jumbling some things around a little. Watertown, you have fourth. I have Watertown down in sixth. Wilby, though, is a team that really might be able to jump up in there, we thought.
Yeah, Wilby may be a surprise with Coach Russo moving over from Woket and accepting that job and bringing a couple of guys over. It's going to be interesting to see where those guys end up. I mean, we've heard a couple of interesting and pretty surprising things from the Waterbury area surrounding the program this offseason. So, we'll see where they end up. But right now, it's a big question mark. But we'll see where they end up. They have I'd say an easier path to the division title than some of the teams in the Copper.
Yeah, definitely. The Copper is going to be all jumbled up. After Ansonia and the brass, there is some parity it looks like we'll have. But in the Copper, I mean, all the way up to the top, you have Holy Cross winning the division. I have Torrington winning the division. Woodland, Naugatuck, Sacred Heart, they all plan to be on in there. Who knows, St. Paul with their offense, they might even be able to sneak up. That is going to be a heck of a fun ride. And unlike the brass, where there might be one or two games that determine the championship, the Copper is going to be a lot of games picking that up. Yeah, the Copper is definitely loaded. I definitely have a sleeper pick in Holy Cross winning it with quarterback coming back, Zach Brown, David DeGiorgi. He's a beast there, both at linebacker and running back for them. And the talented freshman, probably the most talented freshman in the league this year, Isaiah Moore. Torrington can obviously win the division. I think they have a really strong team, not only with Brendan Liddon, but they also have playmakers on the outside like Juan Toribio and Chabelle. Yeah, he's there. And Demetrius Daly's in the defensive backfield. He's looked pretty good. Receiver as well. So I think anything can happen in that division. Obviously, Sacred Heart's lost Coggins. That they're taking a big hit. I thought they were really a contender, a front runner for the division as well. So we'll see what happens. But that's definitely the more interesting division this year. I think so. Yeah, I think it's kind of tough to debate that. And we go to the NVL Championship. We both have Ansonia winning the championship. I've got it over Torrington. You've got it over Holy Cross. It does look like Ansonia is probably going to be the team to beat, as I think most people do think here. So we do want to move on just a little bit, since you've already seen all of that. We are both going to be voting in the Connecticut Sports Writers Alliance state poll this year, and we've just put in our preseason polls. Those will actually be out Monday night, so we'll make sure to post those when they do come up. But my top 15, I've got Massac back at the top of the poll. I voted for him at the end of last season. I think they're going to be there again. Casey Cochran is excellent. Xavier at number 2, you really can't go wrong. You'd love to see those two teams play. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen because they're not in the same class. But Xavier is going to be just as good, if not better, than Massac. Rounding out my top 10, I've got New Canaan 3, defending Class M champ Hillhouse at 4. Ansonia is at 5. They're my only NVL team in the top 10. Then 6 through 10, Brookfield, Cheshire, Bunnell, Valley Regional, and Norwich Free. And then I've got Torrington sitting down at 12. So take a look at Rem's book.
Yeah, I definitely agree with most of Kyle's picks there. I have Massac at 1. I have with Casey Cochran. I mean, how can you go wrong? Colin Marcus is back. I have Xavier at 2. Like I said, I think either team. I think both teams have a really good shot at going undefeated this year. I have Bunnell at 3 with their high-powered offense, Brian Castellot, and a plethora of skill players. I have Hillhouse at 4, which may be a surprise to some. I have Ansonia in the 5th spot. I have Brookfield and their talented quarterback, and their bull for a running back. was absolutely running over New Canaan during the scrimmage. At 6, rounding out the top 10, I have West Haven at 6, Cheshire at 7, Trumbull at I have West Haven at 7, Cheshire at 8, Trumbull at 9, and I have New Canaan at 10. I have Torrington at 15, which is the only other NVL team in my top 15.
Yeah, those two should be pretty competitive, we think, in the state this year. And never an exact science, these top polls, but we'll be in it this year, and we'll make sure we give you our polls every week. And of course, they're down on the right sidebar, the CSWA, the coaches poll, and we'll put the register poll down there too this year. So check that out. Another couple things before I get to our week 1 picks. We want to take a look at our top preseason top 5 players in the league. We had our preseason All-NVL team up there, and a lot of those players are all excellent. I mean, you can't really go wrong with those if you have them on your team. But the top 5 players, I think number 1, pretty much in everyone's mind, is Brendan Litton.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Torrington has one of the most outstanding bats coming back from this year. He had an awesome year last year with, I think, over 2,500 yards and close to 30 touchdowns rushing. But that was obviously overshadowed by what Montreal Dobbs had in the season and Sony had, which is kind of surprising with Dobbs being the young senior. I think a couple of the other players that I'd name in my top 5, I have Ray Krieger, definitely one of the top quarterbacks in the state. Derby took a big hit, obviously losing Tomzak, but I think he'll still have an outstanding year. Brendan Litton, I think Arkell Newsom is a young guy, but I think he's one of the more talented skill players in the league.
Who else? I've got those 3 guys. I've got Ray Krieger second. He's going to be the best quarterback in the league. I've got Jake Yorison from Naugatuck. He's ranked 3rd on mine, just because of how much he's going to be in charge this year. Naugatuck does have a quarterback in Zach Mercer. We got to see him up at Wolcott in the scrimmage the other night. He did look pretty good, but Yorison's going to be the big ball handler, and he's going to be the big guy in defense. So I have him at 3rd. Newsom I have 4th. We're going to see what he can do on offense this year for the Chargers, but we all know what he can do on defense. And then at 5th, I have Matt Zaccanini from Woodland. It's really like a tie at 5th. Matt Zaccanini and Dave DeGiorgi are pretty much the same sort of
they're going to have to carry their teams.
Yeah, on both sides of the ball, similar to Yorison. Other players, Luke Grabowski from Seymour, DJ Ellis from Sacred Heart. And, as we said, we do have 2 players out who might be in this top 5 otherwise, and Jacob Tomzak and Dave Coggins. So those are our top 5 preseason players. Those things will change, but be sure to take a look at our player of the week every week here on the blog down in that right sidebar. So, and finally, before we get to week 1, our preseason power rankings, a little bit different than our preseason picks. We'll have this every single week, but in my power ranking, I've got Ansonia 1. Even though they're not the defending league champions, they are the favorite to do so. Naugatuck is 2. They are the defending league champs, so in order to be the man, you got to beat the man, as Captain Obvious just said a couple days ago. Torrington is 3, favored in the copper of many. Woodland 4, another playoff team coming back. And at 5, I put Derby there. You could put Holy Cross, Sacred Heart, Wilby, even Seymour. There's a lot of parity, I think, in this league this year.
Mine, yeah, I mean, definitely. I think, and like I said, I think Copper Division teams are going to be a little tougher. I can give you guys my top 5 as well. I think Ansonia is probably the most skilled team in the league. If they execute the way that they, if they execute like they should, then I think they'll run away with the brass and the NVL. I guess I'll name Torrington at 2. I have to have Holy Cross up there since I picked them to win the division. Naughty, definitely. I mean, Naughty lost Berger, they lost Broderick, they lost
Conklin,
they lost Tyler Conklin. So, I mean, Naughty's going to have to do a lot to get back to where they were last year and win the NVL, and obviously make the playoffs in the tough Class L. But my 5th, I don't know. My 5th would be a tie between Woodland and Derby, but Derby obviously took a big hit losing Tomzak, and I'm not sure if they can recover enough to stay atop the brass standings and do anything spectacular this year.
Yeah, Derby, we'll have to see what they can pull off and how Ray Krieger adapts and sort of improves his new weapons. But that'll be something we see throughout the